Genre, fairy tale. Compare texts. Read about how a man gets the information he needs. The Salamander. There was once a princess who had a tower with 12 floors. On every floor there was a window. When the princess looked out of the first window, her sight was sharper than any person's. When she looked out the second, she saw as keenly as an eagle. From the 12th window, she could see everything on earth and below it. The princess wanted to marry a talented man, so she proclaimed that she would only marry someone who could conceal himself from her. A young man came forward and asked to be given 3 chances. He was so handsome and asked so graciously that she agreed. The youth thought and thought, but he simply couldn't think of a good hiding place. In frustration, he went hunting. He was about to shoot a raven when the bird asked to be spared. The raven was so eloquent that the youth let her go. That day, he also spared a fish and a fox, because they also asked for mercy. The next day, the young man knew he had to hide himself, so he asked the raven for help. The raven broke an egg in 2 and shut him inside. Then she put the egg in her nest and sat on it. When the princess went to her first window, she couldn't see the youth. She had to climb to the 11th floor window before she could see him. She ordered the egg to be brought to her and broken. When the young man stepped out, she said to him, "That's your first chance." The next day the youth asked the fish for help. The fish swallowed him and swam to the bottom of the lake. This time the princess climbed to the 12th floor window before she could see him. She ordered the fish to be caught and said to the young man, "You have 1 more chance." On the last day he went to see the fox. After thinking hard, the fox cried, "I have it. No wonder everyone consults me." The fox led the youth into a magic spring. The spring transformed the fox into a dealer of animals and the youth into a salamander. The dealer then went to the town to show off the pretty little animal. A crowd gathered. Eventually the princess came to look, and she bought the salamander. The dealer whispered to the salamander, "When the princess goes to the window, hide under the braids of her hair." When the princess began the search, she went from window to window, but could not see the youth. "Aha," he thought from beneath her braids. She didn't take this into consideration when she set the challenge. After she'd finished looking, the salamander returned to the dealer, and they rushed back to the spring, where they were returned to their true forms. Then the youth went back to the castle. The princess was waiting for him with a smile on her face. As it turned out, he was the talented man she'd been looking for all along. Make connections. How does the youth in The Salamander find ways to hide from the princess? How do Blanche in The Talking Eggs and the young man in The Salamander get help?